Okay. So Anna, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes. Well, let's start. So this is another type of question from the reading section from the TOEFL test. And this specific type of question, as you already know, you need to work with this highlighted sentence. Okay? So I'll read it very quickly to you. Were Earth to be juxtaposed with the great red spot, our planet would be dwarfed in comparison with a diameter less than half that of the great red spot. So in this exercise, you basically need to find a sentence. One of these four sentences expresses the essential information in the highlighted sentence in the passage. So three of the sentences are incorrect, which means that they change the meaning in important ways or leave out some essential information. So what most of my students are trying to do, they just read the highlighted sentence and then they start reading the options and they basically comparing the highlighted sentence with the options. Well, you can do this, but the problem is that on TOEFL you don't have that much time, and this kind of question is really time consuming. The sentences are long. Like this one here is like 4 lines, and this one here are each of them is like 2 lines. This is very time consuming, you know, to compare each sentence with each sentence. So I propose to my students to do the following thing. Well, let's first of all do it together. I believe that you should work a little bit with this highlighted sentence and try to create like a mental or even physical image or scheme or diagram for this sentence. And then when you'll be reading the options A, B, C, and D, you will not be comparing these options A, B, C, and D to the original highlighted sentence, but you will be comparing them to the diagram or image or picture which you created. Okay? So let me tell you very quickly how to do it. For the first time, it will be kind of like it will take a lot of time, but in the future, when you'll be doing it more and more and more, it will take less and less and less time. And sometimes you don't even need to draw or write anything. You can create this mental image in your brain. So first of all, if you look at this original highlighted sentence, how many, Anna, how many, let's say, how many meaningful parts, how many clauses do you see here in the sentence?
First, it says that the tip of the Earth is less than half of the one great red spot. Get this deep idea, I think.
Okay. Can you please answer my question? How many meaningful parts?
With words importantes,
Yeah, how many clauses? Do you know what a clause is? Clause, it's when you have a subject and a verb. Okay? Every clause has a subject and a verb. So how many clauses, how many meaningful parts does this sentence contain?
two.
Two. Absolutely. Absolutely. Two parts. What's the first part?
So you have to be just poses.
With the great red spot. Were the Earth to be juxtaposed with the great red spot? This is the first part. Okay. So we will have the first like block, the first cube for this part. And the second part, of course, is this one. Our planet would be dwarfed in comparison with a diameter less than that half of the great red spot. Okay, so we have two parts. Perfect. And what's the relationship between? Let me present them here. What's the relationship between these two parts? How are they related? Which one maybe results from another one? What's the relationship here?
Uh,
Huh?
sentences or you between
I mean, these two parts, how are they related? Which one results from another one?
the second two
I agree. I agree. So we can say that the second part
is
is kind of like a result from the first one. Okay? So look, now it's much easier to work with something like this. We know the sentence has two parts, and we know that the second part results from the first part. Let's now just read the first part and try to represent it here, to like describe it and draw it here in the first cube, in the first box. And our goal is to use as few words as possible. Because the problem with this question is that it's wordy, it's time consuming, the sentences are long. So let's try to use pictures, diagrams. So what happens in the first sentence? What is to juxtapose? What's that?
I will write yeah, that's for to do it response.
Okay, so how do you understand the meaning of the word juxtapose?
And one is the opposite.
So like they overlap, yes? Like two things overlap. Okay, so if we uh, put two things like this, mm, okay, so probably it's something like this, right? Okay, so this is to juxtapose. I drew it, okay? I used circles, I used a picture. I don't want words. I don't need words because words in this question is a problem for me. The more words I have, the more time consuming it is to answer the question. So basically, I believe that I'm already done with the first part. The first part says, were Earth to be juxtaposed with the great red spot, and this is exactly what happens. So if we juxtapose the great red spot and on top of it we put the Earth, then what happens? Second
Our
part of the sentence.
would be first in comparison.
Yeah, so we have the Earth and we have the great red spot. And what do we see? What's the comparison? How are they compared?
Diameter is less than half
Aha. Diameter of what is less than half?
of the earth.
Okay. So we can say that Earth Earth diameter is bigger or smaller? Smaller, right?
Yeah.
So Earth diameter is smaller than great red spot. Okay. So have a look at this. What is easier? To try to read every sentence and compare it with this long, long highlighted sentence? Or maybe it's easier to read every um, option and compare it with our diagram.
I think this is the best.
Say it again.
I think not to read each options and compare with highlight classes.
Yeah,
Sense.
yeah. We definitely don't want to read this highlighted sentence many, many times and compare it with each option. It's just waste of time. If we're going to succeed on TOEFL test, we're not going to do that. Okay, now after this diagram is ready, it's produced, it's right here. We can easily and quickly compare each of the sentences with the diagram. And listen, if the sentence is correct, tell me why it is correct. But if the sentence from your point of view is incorrect, you should tell me why it is incorrect. There are two options. It either changes the meaning in important ways. So changes. So something should change in this picture drawing we have. Or another possibility for incorrect choices is that some of the options might just leave out some essential important information. So some of this information which we have in the diagram may be just missing. Okay. So let's analyze each of these options. Three of them are incorrect. For each of them which is incorrect, you tell me why it is incorrect. So the first one goes like this. The density of the great red spot is much higher than that of the Earth. Is it correct?
It isn't correct.
It,
It is
it is.
incorrect.
It's not correct. It's not correct. Why? What's wrong?
Because in this sentence, they change the meaning.
They change the meaning in the sentence. How exactly do they change the meaning in the sentence?
They say that the mass of grid spot is much higher than the of the Earth. It's not so, not density, but diameter.
That's right. Option A is about density, but we are looking for diameter. So for this reason, option A changes the meaning in an important way. It's incorrect. Good job. We can cross it out. We don't need A anymore. What about number two? If the diameter of the great red spot were doubled, it would equal that of the Earth.
Uh, it also changes the meaning because uh, we will, if we will double the diameter of the Earth, it will be equivalent of for great red spot.
All right. That's right. So this one is about diameter, which is good. But basically, it says that the great red spot is smaller than the Earth. And is it true if we look at our diagram?
No,
No, it's not. It's not. Actually, we know that the Earth is smaller than great red spot. So for this reason, we eliminate B. It's wrong. Now let's have a look at C. Let's have a look at C. By placing the Earth, let's compare it to the image I produced here as we read it. By placing the Earth next to the great red spot, one could see that the Earth has a much smaller diameter.
so
Yeah, does this sound like our diagram, like our picture?
yes.
Yes. We place the Earth next to the great red spot, and then we see that the diameter of Earth is smaller than the diameter of great red spot. Perfect. Perfect. And pay attention. So to answer this question, you don't need to read the entire sentence again. And so you're not wasting your precious valuable time on TOEFL on reading the sentence again. You don't read it. Okay, very quickly, what's wrong with option 4?
It's without essential information
It leaves out essential information. What one? Which one exactly?
because in this passage they are talking about the huge sense and clothes.
Okay, so in the original sentence they don't talk about influence, right?
Yeah.
How do you understand the meaning of this adjective close?
Using my pocket.
So they're close, they're next to each other, they're near. Is it true? Does juxtapose mean that the Earth, our Earth we live
Yeah.
on, is next to the Great Red Spot? Have you ever seen Great Red Spot?
No.
No, they're not close. They're not close. Great Red Spot is far, far, far away. They when they created option D, they were hoping that you don't maybe understand the meaning of the word juxtapose. That maybe you would assume that it's something like close, but we know what juxtapose means, right? So no, option D is incorrect. It changes the meaning in important ways and leaves out essential information. we should eliminate it. So very confidently, we can say that the right answer is C. Okay? And pay attention that while we were answering this question, we didn't need to read the original sentence many times. We didn't need to do this because we want to save time. There is not that much time on TOEFL. Okay? So this is a strategy you need to use when you'll be answering this type of question on TOEFL test. Okay? Okay. Good job.